Raleigh voters are deciding whether they're willing to pay some higher taxes to get improvements done for parks, trails, and greenways. Here's how much the park bond referendum would cost the typical homeowner. Right now, the median home value in the city is just shy of $258,000. The tax rate would go up 4 cents on every $100 of a home's value. So that adds up in that case to be about $103 more on their annual tax bill. WRAL's Matt Tallhelm is live for us in Chavis Park to show us what voters would be getting for that money. Matt.
Dan, there are 20 projects in that bond referendum, including right here in Chavis Park, where you can already see this is an early voting site. People are heading in here to cast their ballots right now ahead of the election day. Raleigh voters will answer that question right here on the back of their ballot. Yes or no to $275 million for parks. Jill Baylog's 3-year-old granddaughter plays favorites on the playground at Chavis Park.
She really likes going on the merry-go-round.
The North Raleigh family knows there's a price to pay to enjoy this free fun in their city.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm willing to pay more in taxes to get the services we need in the city.
Raleigh voters are weighing that balance on their ballots. A $275 million parks bond includes 20 projects. $54 million would go to Chavis Park for a new aquatic center and upgrades. $43 million would cover construction of the Gibson Play Plaza and planning the next phase of improvements at Dix Park. $29.5 million is earmarked to redevelop Tarboro Road Park. $21 million would go toward a bike and pedestrian path along Lake Wheeler Road by Dix Park. And the Sertoma Arts Center would get more than $15 million for a renovation and expansion. The projects also include greenway and trail improvements and preparing to turn this city maintenance yard along Capitol Boulevard into a new urban park.
We're looking at equity and access to make sure every community deserves a quality park.
Mitchell Silver is a former Raleigh planning director and parks commissioner in New York City. Now he's co-chair of the campaign that's put up these Yes for the Parks bond signs all across the city.
Great cities invest in their parks, they care for their parks, and this one is important. Don't just look at the cost, look at the value.
My property taxes just for this bond alone are going to go up almost $200.
Lisa Hewitt says now is not the time for this bond.
But at this time, with inflation and costs rising, people are really cost burdened.
She joined a handful of speakers who asked City Council to consider more funding for affordable housing before putting parks on the ballot.
I think it's completely out of proportion to what we need in the city.
This parks bond is the biggest in city history. The last bond that city voters approved was in 2020. That was for affordable housing. But when you look at the numbers going back to 1980, city voters have approved $150 million in bonds for housing and $230 million for parks. That doesn't even include this $275 million that is yet to come. You can still vote early until Saturday, November 5th, or in person on Election Day, November 8th.
We'll see how people would like to invest their money. Matt Tallhelm live for us in Chavis Park tonight. Thanks, Matt.